standing between you and the threat in our skies, until the all-clear sounds. As the storms roll by, Red Rock weather.
All right, how y'all? I can hear you. Hi. My wife. Hi there. Y'all forgive me. This one's caught me off guard. I came up all of a sudden through the Loretto area of Tennessee up through now in Pulaski. Give me a second to catch my bearings, and we'll start this and start coverage. All right, if you're just tuning in, there's a line that's developed to our southwest, moved into our area, or is moving into our area here super soon. It has died down a little bit, but there is still a chance of. I know it was dropping a little bit of hail near Lawrenceburg, just south of Lawrence. We're just going to keep an eye on it. Once again, forgive me. I'm trying my best to get organized. It's my son's Oliver's 12th birthday. Got back from eating Mexican food. This one was a bit of a surprise, a little welcome home kind of gift. I haven't even had time to set up any lighting, so hopefully y'all can see my face. It's not important to see my face. Trust me. Promise. We're good. All right. That. We can do this. And while we fix this, let's take a look real quick. So we do have some new tech, I guess you want to call it, in the stream. Let's see. So, regardless, here we are. We do have anyways, like I said, we do have a few new features on the stream. The one you can see down at the bottom of the screen, center this. Hey, here we are. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the newest warnings and when they expire. We do have a flash flood warning for Giles County that expires at 1:45 a.m. And you can see at the top of the screen, current Tennessee alerts. We have 6 alerts in the state. Some of those are statements, some of those are outlooks, projections, stuff like that. But in our state, we do have a total of 6 at the moment. We're taking a look at this. Kind of want to go live because earlier in this lifespan of this cell, which it's now back up to, we have echo tops, which are the height of the storm. of around 55, 60,000 feet in the air, which is right near the top of that tropopause. So if it were daytime, you'd probably see a few anvil clouds forming. And if you know anything, if you've listened for a while, you'll know that lightning strikes and the height of the storm give the storm energy. And we have ample enough energy tape in our atmosphere to sustain these storms. But we still have a high pressure system kind of honed in on our east, just east of us, that's kind of keeping these storms away. So, but if they keep up track and if they keep up strength, if the cap that's above kind of eroding these storm systems actually breaks and lifts, then we're going to have some pretty nasty stuff coming our way in about an hour or so. Here. I'm just setting this up. This has actually caught me so off guard that I'm trying to fervently get things together. So you'll have to forgive me. I will say this at the moment, that there's also some rotation happening with this cell, especially what's happening near Loretto and Leoma, heading into Good Spring and Pulaski. I do have a camera up on Pulaski at the moment. I'll try and get that as soon as I can, y'all. Once again, forgive me. What we're looking at the moment. We can work with that. Okay. So, let's get down to it, y'all. All right, so with this cell that's moving in, we'll actually loop this real quick so you can see how it formed, where it's coming up from. Once again, coming up from that Lexington, Alabama area and heading into our area. We have this line that starts here, is moving this way towards us. We'll stop it here. You see that this is actually a telltale sign that this is trying to gather more strength as it heads into our area. This is some pretty heavy rain that we have here, but it is on the verge of hitting hail. In fact, take an even deeper dive in here. Yeah, you can actually see these little gray blips are the start of what could be, a hail signature that's happening near Miner Hill, heading into Good Spring and Pulaski. Once again, let me see. Let's go with, there's a live look at Pulaski. Whoops, I disappeared. That's what happens. Sometimes you just disappear. Oh, that's not good either. Try that. Let's try this. Oh, hi, how are you? We're gonna fly by the seat of our pants here, y'all. Forgive me, setting things up. I've set up a lot of new things in this stream, and that's why, unfortunately, I've had to do some of this as we go. So, my apologies. We weren't really supposed to even somewhat encounter some severe weather until later this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. So, anyways, like I was saying, this is a live look at Pulaski right above my head. Of Pulaski, Tennessee. That is really getting nailed right now with some lightning and strong rain. Like I said, at the moment, really the more rough stuff is going to be right near Revillo. I don't know how to say that. Heading into Peach and Malon, Tennessee. But you do see a larger look of Pulaski on the screen. Actually, look at these storm tracks kind of heading our way. This has this storm moving south west, which is just not true. It's actually gaining strength and heading more into this way. So I think it's gonna try and make its way into Fayetteville and Lynchburg and Estill Springs and Tullahoma, Normandy, those areas. We'll definitely we're gonna keep our eyes on them. You can see here we have live looks at downtown Tullahoma, Wilson Avenue. Thanks. Light tube. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. Again, just got home, kids to bed. You actually see some lightning flashes over my head on Wilson Avenue. Cam. Again, Shelbyville is that way. Pulaski and Ardmore, Tennessee. Those are the areas I like to hone in on because those are the areas where our weather threats really come from. So just tuning in, thank you for joining me. Trying to watch this cell as it's moving in here. All right, so a new forgive me. Yeah. New flash flood warning coming in. That's going to be for our friends to the northeast, near. That includes Spencer, Cedar Grove. I'm telling y'all, this thing's carrying a lot of rain with it, so. So if you're joining in, give me a shout on where you're at. We'll try and take a look at what's heading your way. Seeing a lot of lightning up here near the Lawrenceburg area. Check those echo tops again. Yeah, man, those are rough. Yeah, those are getting into almost the 60,000 range on the Echo Tops. Normally, your troposphere and the tropopause end at about 70,000. So that's when you start getting anvil clouds and really strong storms in there. And unfortunately, unless these storms start taking a different path, we're going to see maybe a bit more coming in from that Lexington area in just a little bit. Excuse me for 1 second, y'all. Welcome me back to you. All right. All right. I know I've said that 16 times. Got rocking the new hat. I don't know if my head's crooked or the hat is, but I'm OCD, so I'm gonna say it's the hat's fault. So Cumberland, Tennessee, Van Buren, Tennessee, White, Tennessee, here's it. Have a flash flood warning till 2:15 a.m. Wow. All right. Hello. Check, check. Much better. There's got to be a minor hill. Camera up here somewhere. Plug this thing. It looks like what's happening right now, especially in this area near Miner Hill, cell is just kind of hovering around for the past almost 20 minutes. Hitting that area. Again, those are areas of rotation where you have your radar is down in this area, and what it's reading is winds going away from the radar, winds coming towards the radar. Creates this vortex, this helicity in the system. Hopefully it doesn't play out too long like that. We do have some strengthening cells down below Lexington, near the Killen area of Alabama and Florence. McMinnville, there's still some more stuff coming for the McMinnville area. At least if this line of storms keeps progressing the way it is. At the moment, what we're actually seeing, which is a good thing for us, but we always just want to be prepared, is that there's a frontal system pushing this, and it's combating this system coming up, pushing this storm almost now in a path more, crud, more in that direction. Let's hope that stays that way with this cluster. Now we can call a line. They are joining up. Welcome in, welcome in. You're just joining. We're looking at this line of cells that are heading into our area. We have a camera on Pulaski at the moment. We've also got views of Shelbyville and Ardmore, and of course our two mainstay cams near Tullahoma. We're keeping an eye on everything. Can't get around. So I come back from eating Mexican food with my family for my son's 12th birthday. And you kind of catch me off guard, gotta admit. Good job, Mother Nature. What a fast one on. And again, I kind of detailed this as well. Have some new features to the stream. Now, the first of which is going to be at the bottom of the screen, where you'll see kind of a rotating list of warnings that are going on. Giles County has a flash flood warning until 1:45 a.m. Cumberland, Tennessee, you have a flash flood warning until 2:15 or a.m. Forgive me, a.m. At the top of the screen, you'll see current alerts in Tennessee. There are 8 current alerts. We do have a flood advisory for Giles County. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep. Giles County and Lawrence, Tennessee. Flash flood warning for Cumberland, Van Buren, and White, Tennessee until 2:15. Giles County until 1:45. Let's see. And the rest are kind of heat advisories and flood advisories. Round out those alerts, but we do have 2 immediate alerts for our area and the state of Tennessee. Hope you all are well. On this ominous, honestly, very sticky outside. A lot of humidity, very high dew points right now. No, I want to say very high, but they're in the 70s. And again, we really weren't projecting to have a lot of weather happening in this area. Just so turns out, he said. Just so happens that we had some favorable conditions to start dropping some storms near our area. And again, I don't just cover Oklahoma, Shelbyville, Winchester, Manchester, Normandy area. We're going all the way out to Pulaski and up to Chapel Hill, and even as far out, towards McMinnville, which just got through with a pretty rowdy storm coming through the area, and then down through Sewanee area. It's not just this area that we're keeping an eye on. We want to keep this whole southern middle Tennessee area kind of safe. It does, good news, does kind of look like the storm has weakened just a bit here. Hopefully that's a trend. Hopefully I get to end the stream a little bit earlier than I thought I would. On the other hand, we've now got some connections down here near Killen and Florence, Muscle Shoals area, heading into Ardmore. That could potentially see their way our way. In fact, the cells are actually, these storms are actually skirting Shelbyville pretty nicely. We're seeing just a slight rain heading into upper Lynchburg, Mount Herman, New Herman, near Hilltop. Again, every storm starts out as a blip, as you know. I mean, look at that boy right there. It's gonna start. Whoops. This guy right here. Watch it start and form as a blip, turn into a storm, dissipate. Hopefully it keeps up that way. And we actually got another Pulaski cam that we can head to right there. And in this one, you can actually see pretty well the amount of thunder that's being packed with this line rolling through Pulaski. Yeah, that's Ardmore at the moment. A little cell actually started to pop up for Ardmore as well. See right here. keep our eye on Pulaski for a little bit. Again, the rotation and the actual self-signature has died down significantly. And I'm betting, if we look at Ecotops, nope, I'm wrong. Still the same. Still pretty strong storm. And again, when we talk about Ecotops, that's the top of the clouds in the storm. So the higher that Ecotop, the higher the storm is. When you look at a storm, you look at those cumulonimbus clouds, and the higher they reach, even if they start developing that flat top, that anvil top, that's because they're at the top of the tropopause, which is the troposphere, which is the lowest layer of our atmosphere. It's where weather happens. Those clouds have nowhere else to go. So the clouds will grow and grow and grow until they reach the top, and then they'll just flatten out up top. And the higher that storm is, the more room that convection has for instability to play and grow in strength. And when you look at this, you can really see the higher the tops of these storms are, the more lightning that's punched in there. The more lightning, the more energy this thing has. So there's a few things that you can look at in these storms, especially on radar, that'll tell you, hey, this boy's no joke. I mean, look at all those strikes near Minor Hill. Goodness gracious. At the moment, Pulaski, honestly, you might have just a couple minutes of break here. Hopefully, what's happening, and you can actually see this on radar. This whole thing is starting to break into two different parts here. But you see this line is moving more towards north east, and this line is actually moving more towards east southeast. And I really hope that's the case for our area. However, we do now see this bad boy popping up. Again, just a weird night, y'all. This I wasn't. I knew that somewhere around the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock mark, there's a chance of rain. I didn't know that it was really supposed to be too severe, and it might not be. This storm looks like it's weakening minute by minute. So let's hope that continues and we can just go to bed. That'd be good for a week. But it has been a while. We have been very lucky. There have been some strong storms in the area. Nothing that has been severe warned in quite a while. But looking at these signatures on radar, there was a definite chance that, and still is a definite chance that these could stay strong as they head into our area. Once again, that Appleton, Minor Hill area, you are getting hit pretty hard. Goodspring is actually seeing quite a bit of lightning at the moment. There's motion at my back door. I bet that's my oldest son, Ezra. I bet he's going to say something or be pretty loud. I apologize in advance. Let's see what happens. I called it. All right, up near Chapel Hill. You have a good signature coming up your way. Probably going to see some thunder here soon. You've probably already seen some thunder. You sell it was in your area. Oklahoma, you're seeing a new cell develop near our west. Probably head more into the Normandy area. We have a brief moment. Let me kind of fill you in on what I'm going to be watching. One more time. What I'm going to be watching near the end of this upcoming week. We do have the and still is making its way through the lower parts of Mississippi and now through Louisiana. Tomorrow, there's actually quite a bit of a threat for this area of Louisiana. The wording from the SPC actually said they could see up to 15 inches of rain. People on the lower Louisiana border with the ocean, let them know and be prepared if they don't already. But what I'm specifically for this area going to be watching is all this tropical activity here. And what's going to do is there's going to be a high pressure system that's going to be doing this thing. It's going to be a trough, a high pressure trough that's going to mix with that low pressure front that's coming up, and it's going to create this frontal system here. And so there is a slight chance that near the end of this week and heading into early next week, we could see remnants of that tropical storm. And I'll do everything in my power to keep us safe and just keep watching that for sure. Sure. I'm on the wrong thing here, y'all. Forgive me. I'm seeing the nation's alerts. Let's not do that. Say. I mean, I like our country. I don't think it's going to help us here in this area, though. It could. I don't know. So again, Christiana area, you're going to have this storm that moved through Unionville and Chapel Hill recently. It's going to head your way within the next 5 minutes or so. You'll see some lightning. You'll see some pretty heavy downpour here in this area, heading into Fosterville. Tullahoma, we still have this cell right here, the small little blip that's still chugging along. From the looks of it, we're going to see more of this direction. So just in between Normandy and Tullahoma area, if that cell keeps up its strength, we're going to see some pretty heavy rain and this keeping up strength. Cool. All right, what's up? 548. Anything severe expected downtown Tullahoma overnight tonight? It's a good question, and thanks for watching. I do appreciate that a ton. So to put it in a simple term, yes and no. Honestly, the best thing to do is I don't think we're going to see anything tornadic or even hail. I don't even think we're going to see too strong of winds if we see any winds at all. Maybe in the 20, 30 miles per hour range in this area. We'll see some heavy rain. We'll see some lightning. Mainly what I wanted to do was get on and track this line that was heading up through Lexington, Alabama, near the Muscle Shoals area. Because previously, no, I got you. Okay, so I'll make it a little simpler. Sorry. We had this line that was previously in the night making its way towards our area. What's happened is there was a front that started pushing more towards the southeast. So, if we put this into motion, you'll actually see the way that that's heading. It was heading up towards our area, and now it's making its path more towards the Ardmore area. Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be that bad. However, I believe we are going to see some rain. We might hear some thunder throughout the night. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about because the other part of that answer that I can't say eloquently because there's not really a good way to say it. But we talk about storms starting out as blips, and so we put this into motion. We see this little blip that is right here, and it gains strength, it loses strength, and actually at the moment, if we head in a little bit stronger or a little bit closer, we'll actually see. But it gains strength, and any of those cells, because our atmosphere is supportive of somewhat severe weather, we can see anything pop up. Nothing going to be absolutely life-threatening. In fact, not that damaging either. So you'll hear some thunder. You'll see some downpour and stuff like that. So I'm glad that I can actually say it what it makes sense to you. Kind of hard because for as much flack as weather forecasters get, weather is unpredictable, as we've seen tonight. Really, we were supposed to get some rain, maybe a little bit of heavy rain nothing too bad. And it kind of still looks that way, but as we see, there's cells that pop up. So predicting and saying with 100% accuracy, it's going to rain, it's going to storm, you're going to see a tornado, it's impossible to do. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything too bad tonight. So I think you're all good. But as we move in closer, like I said, we're going to take a closer look, and you'll see these signatures of slight pinks, and if they get a little bit deeper shade of pink, that's a signature of pretty heavy rain right there. So that cell is growing as it moves into our way. In fact, it's moving into Black Creek and Hilltop as we speak. About another 5 to 10 minutes before it hits that area. I do appreciate you joining me. Thank you. And thank you for the questions, man. It's good to interact and kind of explain how these summer nighttime storms happen. Summer nighttime is what's happening right here that we're looking at. These pop-up storms. This is more organized. Now, when you see more organized systems like this, they can cause a lot more damage. Especially when you start talking about the top of the storms and the heights where they are, which this is actually significantly dropped in height. Now we're only seeing, readings of 7,000, 50,000 in height, where we were talking earlier, 68, almost 70. Yeah, absolutely. What's up? I agree. Yeah, I mean, honestly, 10 minutes time was all it took for this line right here to start shifting in direction. So I get on predicting I'll be on for at least a couple hours tonight, and then unless there's some pretty strong stuff that pops up, we could say, hey, it's going to be your typical summertime pop-up storms. And yeah, those aren't supercells that are popping up. Those are just thunderstorm cells. And we do have a new flash flood warning here. Southwestern Giles and southeastern Lawrence County. That's pretty substantial too. 2 to 4 inches of rain and additional rainfall of 1 to 2 inches. And that's not a watch, that's a flash flood warning for that area until 4 a.m. So please, if you know anybody in that Minor Hill area, Appleton, and now, add that to the list of Riversburg and Olivet, let them know, as we always say, turn around, don't drown. That's, we have seen it a lot recently, unfortunately, with some severe flooding in the U.S. I mean, just devastating death tolls in some of these flooding incidences. A lot of times that's going to be the most dangerous part of these storms, the amount of rain that they drop and where they drop when they drop rain, causing flooding and stuff. So. And you're welcome, brother or sister. I don't know. What's up is not a gender specific name, and I don't want to gender classify it, but you're welcome. It's my pleasure to keep an eye on this. I tell everybody I would do this regardless of whether I'm streaming or not, so why not help people stay safe and on top of the weather so they can prepare. I do appreciate you. We can take a look at all of our I'm back here. It's my bad, y'all. My switchboard is, or my switchboard, my Stream Deck is actually being a little bit slow. Forgive me. That was. Here's all of our cams. We have 2 on Pulaski. Previously, man, Pulaski was getting rocked. Good news for Tullahoma. That cell that was just west of us has calmed down some. As far as winds go, we're not really seeing much as far as high winds anywhere with these storms. Up near Fosterville, you might see near 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 20, but I mean, nothing too hard here. Now we do add on to that list so included in the Giles, Tennessee flash flood warning is now Lawrence, Tennessee, Lawrence County. Cumberland, Van Buren, and White counties in Tennessee, you're still under a flash flood warning. And that storm up now near Sparta and Spencer, still packing a punch up there. Got another system up here, another cell up here, heading into Allred, Highland area. Have our next update here fairly soon. And we do. So once again, these cells will gather up whatever energy they can find in the atmosphere. And sometimes topographical reasons why, the heat reasons why, but some of these cells just die and then they'll regain strength. So the cell right here heading into Hilltop, Frog Joker. It's going to be a pretty heavy rain. There's no lightning associated with it yet. Gains in height at all. You might see something pop up as far as lightning. And it is growing just a hair up. Actually seeing tops about 30 to 32,000 there. Zoom out here on this whole thing. And going back to your point, that's kind of the nature of these summer storms as well. All these small blips, and when those happen, the first thing that I would do, and I do, I don't, but you got to see if those are organized in a larger line. And as far as tonight goes, this is an active system, although it's broken off into two separate directions. One's moving more northeast, one's now moving east southeast. But this is an organized system here, now broken off into two separate systems. And these blips are now a part of this system when they're isolated. That's when you're just going to see some rain, maybe a thunderstorm. But when they start breaking off and becoming a part of this longer line, they have the chance to actually form up with these lines, create something a little bit heavier. So if you just joined us, we are watching these cells take place around us. Have another update soon to this radar. And if the cell that's headed towards Tullahoma keeps up in strength, you're going to see that hit probably in the Ledford's Mill area, Flowertown. Actually, just a little bit north, between Normandy and Flowertown. 7 Mile Hill area, possibly. I guess, again, nothing too extreme as far as winds go. I mean, velocities of these. I mean, just north of Shelbyville, you're seeing 15 to 20 mile an hour wind gusts. Otherwise, nothing too severe. Our latest scan. On that Tullahoma cell. And once again, I mean, talk about that, right? So now we've seen this cell that's been, up and down for the past 20 minutes. But now we see, as we progress this radar, you'll see a new cell just popping up near Manchester. Now Manchester has an isolated cell. Keep our eye on that as well. These tops are growing, y'all. That pretty rowdy storm up there near Christiana, heading into Fostersville. Apologies. pretty strong storm. Heading into the Beechwood area, Short Creek. If it meets that line up to our northeast, it could take more of a turn towards Gosberg and fudge around. Can we change the name, please? That system up there, Echo tops up there are heading into the mid 50,000 range for those tops. Pretty tall tops right there. Pulaski, we've kind of died down with the storm system tonight in your area. Minor Hill kind of calmed down there as well. And that's good news. You're still under a flash flood warning. Make sure if there's water on the road, turn around, don't drown. This is your first time joining me. I would love a follow and turn on the notifications. And that's not just for me. It makes what I do purpose. What I do is not kind of nowcasting, is what they call it, instead of forecasting. Take a look at the weather as it occurs, being there for you in real time. By hitting the notification icon, you'll get notifications when I go live, and I'll only go live when I believe that there's a chance of severe weather in our area. Tonight was a nothing burger, and I apologize for that, but honestly, I'm very thankful for that, because the amount of strength the storms near the Muscle Shoals area coming into our area was gaining was a little bit concerning. So I'm very glad that it turned into nothing. But if you follow the channel, give it a like, turn on notifications, and you'll know when we have stuff in our area, and spread it around. That's why I do what I do. Notoriety. For anything else other than to keep our area safe, and I like doing it. Something that I very much enjoy. So, but I do appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll see. I think we'll give this just a little bit while longer. That's another great thing about having a very specific area to focus on. There are a lot of guys who will do this for the entire country in Austin. To be on for 12 hours at a time, 13-hour streams at a time, it's got to be exhausting. So I can get on, be on for an hour or two at most. I think our longest stream was maybe 7 hours. But I'm not going to be on any longer than that. But it's a good thing to kind of keep track of, you know. Weather can definitely influence you, especially with flooding and what's been happening recently with our atmosphere and how quickly things are changing. That didn't have an end, and I apologize. The good news up here for Spencer area and Yankeetown and Sparta, On Air, Ravenscroft, that area, that storm has kind of been waning down. Still in Macedonia, you're still seeing quite a bit of a downpour. But I think the worst of what you're going to see is past you now. And this storm as well looks like it's not diminishing, but it's weakening just a little bit. I know if you're probably in Christiana right now or Fosterville specifically, might not seem like that, but I say that, and then I look at some velocity measurements of 20, 25 mile an hour winds coming your way. Probably should have checked out the velocity. Check the overall path. See where we're heading. Man, that's crazy. Weather be crazy, y'all. How much this system just breaks, right? So it's like Mother Nature went, give me that. And you got the system coming up that died down. Right in this area, it's been dying down. Then you have new cell formations that die down and grow, keep advancing. But you can also see another interesting thing is watch this line right here. Watch it shrink. It's kind of crazy. And this cell right here, up near Manchester in the Shiloh area, Union Ridge area, turned into a full-on thunderstorm now. Just like we talked about earlier, with these organized lines, you'll oftentimes have, I kind of associate it with raindrops, right? You connect enough raindrops, it's going to make a puddle. That's what these lines are doing. They're dropping these discrete isolated cells, and a lot of times with more organized lines, you'll see these things start to connect to each other, form that big puddle. You know, sometimes they'll just stay isolated, which is a good thing. But at the moment, it actually looks like this line up here, that was the worst drawing I've ever. That line up here looks like it could connect. I mean, it's gaining in strength. So, based on what these cells do, if this continues to die, and if this, let me do something real quick. There we go. That's probably if this cell right here continues to die, and this Tullahoma cell right here continues to die, we'll watch this past Manchester, make sure there's nothing too severe happen there. And if this line right here, this system continues to scrunch its way down into Alabama and head more towards the southeast, I think we could firmly say that we're okay calling it a night. Could have been a lot worse, y'all, and thankfully it wasn't. Could still be, but it's once again the high pressure system that's just kind of chilling to our east, causing these storms to die down. And we had a pretty decent cap, which is kind of it's kind of like a top that you put on the storm system that kind of pushes that instability down so it can't rise. So we have a pretty strong cap in our area as well, which has helped with the de-escalation of some of these cells. Check that next scan. Yeah, I got a headache. Here. Bless my heart. Somebody bless my heart, please. Oh, we lost to Pulaski, Cam. Stink. What do you do now? Here's the good and the bad. Good news is the cell that's going to be passing Ledford's Mill and Flowertown, 7 Mile Hill. It's weakened. That's a good thing. This line up here near Balcombe in Boynton Valley, like we talked about, it's joining this larger, more organized line here. That's going to be heading into Fredonia, Summitville, Morrison here pretty soon, just north of Manchester. Still going to see some pretty decent rainfall here with that line heading just north of the city of Tullahoma. Another bad, especially for me with a headache, is that this now discrete isolated cell is regaining in strength here. You can see between these two scans, that's actually gaining a little bit in strength. Dang it, Bobby. So, staying right here. Take these off. Do they make medicine for headaches? Gotta look into that. If they don't, I'm gonna invent it. You watch, it's gonna be so cool and make so much money from the medicine for headaches that I make. Honestly, another piece of bad news here. This Fosterville storm looks like it's the strongest storm signature that we have at the moment, heading into Short Creek. And I'm talking the entire state of Tennessee. Watch that next scan, see what happens. The weather's been so weird recently and unpredictable. It's almost like playing the lottery, right? I think this one's going to grow. Ah, man. Down $20. All right, let's scan. Keep gaining a little bit with this cell over here near Brown Shop, Petersburg area. Tennessee, man, you got some weird names for your cities. That's all right, though. Now, we're going to keep watching this boy. I honestly think that it has the chance to grow a little bit. And just north of Normandy. Yeah. What's crazy with this system here is that it's doing what the southern system did in Alabama, right? So you have this line that's kind of broken off and separated there. And then it will move in this direction, but it will also eat up new cells below it, kind of make this shape. We're not going to do that. So on top of this cell right here, gaining a little bit more strength. See that or not? Maybe you can. We're going to keep our eye still on this area up here. Because if it's gonna start scooping up some of these cells below it, I mean, we could see some thunderstorms develop along the back end here as it keeps kind of eating up and heading this way. Interesting, God. Good job. You're keeping me on my toes tonight. See how that's doing on the very tail end of that storm, right above Shelbyville. Kind of grabbing all those cells with it, right? And so it's starting to eat up that cell north of Manchester, and it's starting to dip down into these cells near Shelbyville that are actually being currently created. You can see these little blips right there, right? There's little blips that'll pop up in this area. And that is the storm system trying to grab onto as much life and instability as it can. This turned into an interesting little system here. And the latest scan, I mean, kind of shows just that, right? That Manchester storm. And that's the cycle of a storm. You have this big area of powerful stuff. It'll start regaining strength on the back end and start absorbing other cells into itself, and then just regain strength all over again. So, That's what's happening. Dang, y'all, that Tullahoma cam, that Wilson Avenue cam, that's some crazy stuff. Now we have another flash flood warning for DeKalb County, Warren County, and White County until 4:30 a.m. Could see total amounts between 3 to 6.5 inches total. Y'all be safe out there. Turn around, don't drown. Because you do have this system that's kind of moving into your area as well. This camera right here on Wilson Avenue is pointing towards kind of the northeast, I would say. So you are seeing a lot of this system here in this shot. And there's that warning. It looks like from Tullahoma. From us. Asking okay. All right, that's definitely what's occurring here. We'll do. Talk about this in just 1 second. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just on this real quick. All right, 2 things of note here. Let's talk about it. One is going to be this: that as this line here has gained some strength, we could see this come into our area here. And we're actually seeing, if we take a little larger view, we're actually seeing, because this is pointed towards the southwest, where that line actually is. Saw some lightning flashes in there. So could be a storm coming our way. Again, this is not a strong system right here to be concerned with. So that's big cell right there that we have been looking at. Still kind of, it's trying to grab any instability it can to form something a little bit more that packs a little bit more punch. But when we talked about this system right here grabbing these cells, and that's exactly what it's done here with this line that's been through Manchester, kind of incorporating in that system. And so Uh, hmm. Yeah, this system is just acting weird, y'all. And now we have new developing cells that are being split off from this line and developing, and we have two separate events there happening now. So. So Shelbyville, this you're already seeing the remnants of it, but you'll see a little bit stronger of a downpour in Shelbyville coming in about let's say 2 or 3 minutes. The only concerning part that I actually see for our area within these storms is going to be the chance for these to grow. Because as it stands, the fact that they're breaking off and creating these discrete, isolated cells are giving them a chance to reach for that instability in our atmosphere. The more they can stay together, the easier it is for them to die. Sounds awful, doesn't it? It sounds awful. Time for that next scan to pop up. And it did. All right, so now we're going to watch this discrete line of smaller cells as it heads more towards the Shelbyville area. And then trailing behind that is going to be this cell. And honestly, that cell being broken off can also form into some pretty harsh stuff. So there's stuff for us to watch. But hey, that being said, give me just a quick second. Take a very short break. And I will be right back. All right. Thank y'all. That's feel a lot better. Yeah, I talked earlier about having short streaming, not short. You get what I'm saying. We've been going for a couple hours now, watching these things die and come back to life. Our latest scan. You see the rain in Shelbyville not really produced much as far as any kind of storm goes. There's a decent amount of rain with that system going through, half an inch or so. Now, the concern we're going to watch for is these 3 isolated cells. If they can gain enough instability and if they can gain enough strength, really they're going to head into Shelbyville and maybe even more, because we've seen things go more southeast tonight. Could see Normandy could see a little bit of some storms here as well. And then, what we're really going to watch, or at least for the time being, is how this develops. It's not going to go like that. That develops as it heads more towards the Tullahoma area. So. If you're just joining me, thank you very much. Drop a line to where you are, and I can keep a specific eye on you as the night progresses. There was a time I once remembered about 45 minutes ago where I said, if everything keeps up the way it's going, I can go to bed, and so can you. And honestly, you can as well. We're not really going to see too much in the way of super severe weather tonight. The thing that I'm most concerned about with these, and the reason that I'm streaming, are the flash flooding warnings that are going on in our area. And there's a possibility of one of these cells gathering enough strength to drop small hail and maybe even winds up to 30 miles an hour. I'm not saying that will happen. There's a chance that could run its course. So, and also, if you're joining us just now, please give the channel a like and a follow. Is what I should have said. You can like it if you want, only if I'm doing a good job. But hit the notification icon, which kind of validates why I'm doing this. That way, whenever I go live, which I'll do only when there's severe weather in our area, you get a notification, and that kind of makes what I do worthwhile. So give it a follow, turn on notifications. I really appreciate it. It is 12:55 and 30 seconds now. You can see that time right below me. Try and stay as close to that as you can. Severe weather kind of happens all of a sudden. The closer you are to that time, the easier it is to keep y'all a little bit safer. DeKalb, Warren, and White County, you're under flash flood warning until 4:30 a.m. Giles and Lawrence County until 4 a.m. Cumberland, Van Buren, and well, let's refresh that one, shall we? Cumberland, Van Buren, 2:15. They allowed that to expire, so good. Take a look at the new scan when it pops up, and then we can talk real briefly about what's going to be coming our way by Thursday and into the weekend. I did implement 2 new things to what we do. One's called the Monday Morning Outlook. It kind of gives you a view of the weather for the week. So I dropped that on Monday mornings. This one kind of went up late because I was still finalizing some of the graphics, but the next is going to be the weekend outlook. So drops on Friday morning, giving you a look at what Friday and Saturday and Sunday hold. 2 new things, and those will be more image-based. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook for those kind of updates at Red Rock WX. And then for severe weather that could possibly come into our area, I'll normally do those when the SPC has released a severe threat to our area, either marginal all the way to a high risk. I'll do a video on those. It won't be live, but I'll do a video on those and talk about what's to be expected. So the 1256 scan gives a little bit closer look at what's happening here with this cell. That one I think is going to cycle. In fact, it might break off into separate cells as it comes in. As of now, it weakened just a little bit, but it is growing. So normally what that tells you is at some point that could, split. One cell could start forming down here and another could happen here as they head. I'm not going to draw that area right now, but as they head into the Tullahoma area. And what we've seen in these cells right here is they've elongated, which means they're trying to gather instability as they head into the southern Shelbyville and Normandy area and create its own discrete thunderstorm. Whether that'll happen right now, it's fairly heavy rain, but whether that will happen within the next half an hour or so is yet to be seen. So while we have a moment, let's take a look, shall we, at our oh no, I disappeared again. No. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Hi. All right. So here's what we will see. I have here the composite reflectivity for our area. And you can see us well, come on, baby. Pop up here. Here we go. Here we go. Give it to me. Hey, look at there. All right. So we're in this. We're in. No, stop it. This area right here. That's us. Um, there we go. That did it. And this is a look at kind of what we're going to be looking at here. It's the 12 a.m. mark. There's one. There's the 1 a.m. mark for our area. As you see, these lines, they're supposed to kind of head a little bit more to our north. Still might do that. And that's through, you know, there's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3, 4, and 5. And then through most of the morning, it's going to be partly cloudy. You know, maybe you see one of these stray cells drop some rain for us tomorrow. 5 p.m. tomorrow, 6 p.m. Again, summertime, you're looking at heat that heats up, you know, the sun heats up the surface, which creates convection. You know, that warm, moist air has to rise. So there could be a chance where some of these cells will pop up just like they have this evening on to 7 and 8 p.m. So tomorrow, there's a chance in our area that we'll see some rain, maybe even a thunderstorm in the mid-evening to later evening hours. And now we can actually see what's happening from below us as we head into Thursday, and what I talked about earlier. What you'll see here is this tropical system as it makes its way more northern onto land. What's been happening below us in the Gulf. As it makes its way more towards us, it's going to meet this pressure system and start heading more towards this way. So as we head into Thursday, that's kind of what's happening. That's 10 a.m., 9 a.m., and then we see those cells start coming up into our area Thursday, even into the midday. You know, we can start to see cells popping up because our atmosphere is going to be so ripe with moisture that the cells are just going to start popping up, especially near noon and 1, and then all the way up. And you can see those that tropical system now as, you know, a more organized line of severe weather that makes its way up through Alabama. And 5, here's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock p.m. on Thursday, to 6, and then ultimately 7 is where our cutoff is at the 0Z composite reflectivity. We can try and look at this 5Z and see what we see. Not going to be much different. 8Z is when the next full pattern occurs. I don't think I'm going to be up until I see the 8Z composite reflectivity. There you have it. On Thursday evening into Friday during the day, and even more into Friday and Saturday, there's a chance of some severe weather could occur. Yowza. Not what I want. That's what I want. And this is the most recent day 1 categorical outlook for our area. This is good for right? That can't be right. Y'all forgive me, I've had my days completely mixed up. Today is Thursday. This is our outlook for today. Forgive me. So we are seeing, let's check in a little bit closer here. a marginal risk, which is a 1 out of 5 risk for the Nashville area. I think we could honestly see some thunderstorms tomorrow. And then on to Friday, see more of a pattern here of just thunderstorms. And then on Saturday, the same thing. Our probabilistics for day 4 is 5, 6. There's just too early to predict those. So day 1, I mean, which is today, Thursday, there's, thunderstorms are in the forecast, or at least chance of them, but marginal risk of severe weather up in the Nashville area and above us. That being said, now we can head back to this with a clear conscience and a good frame of mind to look at it that's not going on 4 hours of sleep. This is actually today, Thursday. This is Friday when these tropical systems could be heading into our area in the evening through Friday evening and Saturday during morning hours and throughout the midday. So whew, that got away from me, y'all. Yowza. Wrong. There we go. So now our current situation here. Take a look at this in action, all right? Kind of like what we've been seeing. This trend of cycling up. And just like we mentioned earlier, I want to say about 45 minutes ago, this line has now done what the storms down here in Alabama did, right? They're flowing more towards the south, and so they're gathering these cells up into this main line here. There's a chance that if these grow, we could see a thunderstorm near Normandy as they head into kind of that area. And then you also have this bad boy back here. If it grows, we could see more of the Tullahoma area. Definitely see some rain, but possibly even a thunderstorm here within the next hour. I'm just going to relax, y'all. Systems are moving our way. Again, we still have some flash flood warning. Cumberland, Van Buren County, White County, until 2:15 a.m. We have DeKalb, Warren, and White County until 4:30 a.m. We do still have up in Pulaski and northern Giles County, flash flood warning until 1:45 a.m. And then down there in southwestern Giles and eastern Lawrence until 4 a.m. Be careful around those floodwaters. All right, that's good news, y'all. That's good news. We're now seeing a little bit of diminishment in these lines right here, these cells, as they make their way into our area. Doesn't mean we won't get rain. In fact, near Wartrace and Upper Normandy, you're about to see some rain. We'll wait another scan or so. If those continue to diminish, I believe we're all clear. We might have a thunderstorm. I don't think anything severe is going to develop. So next scan, and then we'll see what happens. I got really close to the camera, didn't I? That's very close. Crazy. I got very close. I apologize. I probably scared some of you. Didn't mean to do that. So another thing we're trying to do is get up to 100 followers on Facebook so we can stream in 3 different places. It's Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We're already on Twitch and YouTube, Red Rock WX. But on Facebook, we need that 100 follower mark. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, my dulcet tenor tones, go and give the Facebook page a like. Facebook.com/RedRockWX. Once we hit that, we'll throw a big party, pizza party, maybe, but probably not. And invite people to like it. You know, people, humans, not robots, not anybody trying to sell shoes or any other kind of clothing. So I would even say down in the Lynchburg area, it's crazy when we look at the echo tops of these storms. We're not taking into account of what's being dropped at the moment. You know, your radars will have different tilts. You know, sends out a signal, and you'll have different tilt to the radar. You can't shoot down on a radar and then receive data back. So you start with a 0.5 degree tilt. That's kind of that lowest setting, right? And as it lifts, you'll get a different view of what's in the atmosphere. And what echo tops do, they take into account all those different angles, and it takes into account the height of the storm or the clouds, basically. And the higher they are, again, the more intensity they carry with them. What's crazy about these lines here, you can see here, this is the 0.5 degree tilt. This is what most meteorologists will look at, guys on your TV, if you watch TV anymore for your news. A lot of people don't. Why? Yeah. So we look at the system, right, and we see the 0.5, and then we get to our echo tops, which show a large swath of cloud activity happening in the 30 to 38,000 foot mark. And so, we can definitely see that up here in this storm system just above Shady Grove and in McMahon, where you see these different colors heading into the purples. That's that's pretty up there in the troposphere. Right? That's almost to the tropopause, which carries a pretty significant storm with it, and that's going to head into Centertown and just north of McMinnville. Head into Yeager. But down here in Fayetteville and Park City, what we're looking at is a maturing system right here. But when we head back here, we see nothing really down here. So the development of cells in that area is very possible and likely. So, I mean, I'll make a prediction here, which will probably be wrong, but you might as well try, right? You can see cells forming along this line here near Fayetteville and head into Winchester and Estill Springs in the next, hour and a half. And that's just because there's energy. Those echo tops are high in the system, so possibly see some cells developing. And the radar scan that came in 3 minutes ago actually shows a little bit more development in this cell back here as it moves its way kind of this way into the Tullahoma, northern Tullahoma, in between Tullahoma and Normandy area. And it looks like it's actually maturing pretty well. Mm-hmm. Keep my eye on this system that's moving into McMinnville at the moment. It does show just a slight bit of rotation with it. That gets much tighter of a couplet and velocity. I mean, we can start talking about a system that's rotating pretty heavy. You can actually see it on both radars. There's the Nashville radar, or I guess we should say Hendersonville radar. Your green lawn, and there's the high top, which is what we typically use here for our area. You can see on both radars a little bit of a rotation signature happening here. And you can really see that on the reflectivity as well. You can see that hook starting to form as well. And that kind of tells you that there's an intake of warm air here. And then on the rear flank downdraft, there's a downdraft of colder air and moisture there. And then we flip over to the velocity. Yeah, so we'll keep our eye on that for sure. The show. I'm getting delirious, y'all. A little note, my friends who are watching. I do suffer from insomnia and anxiety. Some nights it keeps me up. Tonight was one of those nights. Getting a little delirious. A little glimpse into my life. But yeah, man, that signature actually looks a little bit more menacing now. A little bit tighter of a zone here. And the closer and brighter the greens and the reds are, the tighter that couplet becomes and the more wind speed you have inside of that couplet. It's a good sign of tornadic activity. That system's heading into McMinnville at the moment. And it's definitely got tons of energy to play with. I don't think that's going to slow down at all soon. And that line of, or that spot of rotation near Shady Grove also has a pretty high top to it as well. Oh. You know anybody in the McMinnville area? I'm sure they've been hearing the thunder, so there's some really heavy downpour of rain headed their way. And based on what the next scan will show as well, I mean, we're looking at 25 to 30 mile an hour winds as well. These are cycling. These cells down here are cycling. It wouldn't surprise me at all based on recent activity in our atmosphere. Those reform. reform and head further south. Okay. But we've seen the brunt of must have fireworks, lightning to our northeast at the moment. Here's what's crazy about these storms as well. Another crazy thing is that you can see these lightning strikes happen 10 miles, 15 miles away from the actual system itself. Which is why oftentimes hear people say if you hear thunder, you're too close, get inside. You could probably hear thunder down where the bottom of those lightning strikes are happening. Right. Wonderful news. That's good. Good, good, good. The cells off to our east are diminishing. I'm gonna give it one more scan, y'all. Pray for me. My head needs it. Whew. Wow. And those maturing cells down near Fayetteville and Park City, Mulberry, that they look like they're actually dropping in height as well. Good deal. We currently have 13 alerts for the state. Flash flood warning for DeKalb Warren and White County, 4:30 a.m. Giles and Lawrence County till 4 a.m. Cumberland, Van Buren, and White until 2:15. All right. I honestly think that's going to do it, y'all. We'll give this one more scan. So one more scan to go. Those are dying off. Lights are lowering. Sure. Beautiful. All right, y'all. I think we're going to call it there. Streaming almost for 3 hours now for Huge Nothing Burger. I know that some of you actually saw pretty heavy rain and some storms. Nothing too awfully bad. Again, there's a little bit of a slight risk tomorrow throughout the weekend, honestly. Of some very marginal severe weather happening. But we'll keep you up to date on that. And otherwise, y'all have a great Thursday. And